Okay, guys, it is a little after 7 o'clock in the morning. Just arrived in New Jersey. I'm at the Newark airport, and yeah, I've been flying all night from San Diego as I'm going to be going to a James Bond mixer, or if you will, convention here in New Jersey. So stay tuned. This is going to be pretty awesome. All right, take care. All right, staying at the lovely Hilton, Short Hills, New Jersey. I'm already loving this low-lit lamp over the mirror. Very chic. Very, very, very lovely. We got some already set up. We got the safe, place for my shoes. Already hung all of my clothing, which is great. We got to get that all in order. That would be the very Bond thing to do. Bond has a very orderly apartment, so we have to dress the part, be the part. Hilton gave me some complimentary waters. Here's my editing station. After the event, I'm going to come back here and, like the mad scientists, create something awesome. Lovely view of, it looks like a forest outside. And then, of course, you have to have a light read, so I'm reading Unbreakable, the story of Louis Zamperini. Incredible movie. You got to check it out if you haven't seen it. Of course, I'm going to be doing some laps in the pool, get some exercise, going to snorkel it, so to speak. And that would be a very Fleming thing to do. Gorgeous bed. When Fleming used to write, he actually used to do snorkeling in the morning in his home in Jamaica in Goldeneye. And now the bathroom, already set up. I got everything there. Got a lovely tub just in case I take a bath, but I usually take cold showers. So I really enjoy that. So yeah, here is the home away from home while I'm here in New Jersey at Gatherall 4. So looking forward to a little pre-mixer tonight with the boys. All right, enjoying my morning walk here at the Hilton Short Hills here in New Jersey. Getting ready for the big Bond gathering as Gatherall 4. Oh, such a gorgeous landscape this place has. You know, it's nice to just to get away and get a nature walk in the morning to get your day started. And yeah, this is one of my choice places. I always like the Hilton. Alright, we are at the Bond event looking at a couple of Aston Martins. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Pretty darn cool. Absolutely gorgeous cars. So these belong to super fans who literally would go out and spend top dollar to get these gorgeous Aston Martins. Alright, I am here at Gatherall. Finally made it all the way from San Diego. It's a gathering of James Bond aficionados and the Bond ladies, yes. People who have a big passion for James Bond, going to film locations, buying the clothes, and just generally loving the movies, and, of course, the incredible music. So let's go in there and just go meet a few of the guests. We already said the Aston Martins. We'll change all that's come before. Doing so much more. Let's fall in love on an all-time high. We'll take on the world. So hold on tight. Let the fight begin.
First of all, over there in the second bay, we've got Penfold Golf, 007 brand. They are going to be doing a challenge very shortly where Luke Taggart of Bond's apartment will go up against you. This is free to do. So all you need to do is you're going to get I believe it's a closest to the pin challenge. Luke's not bad. He's not good, but he's not bad. If you beat him, Penfold will give you a very special prize. So make sure at some point between 5 and 7, maybe even a little bit earlier, I don't know, you make your way over there and have fun with that. The other thing is we have some gifts, and this is very special. So Jimmy Crover, who has acquired and amassed a huge collection, there are Thunderbolt vintage posters in the other room that were thought to be lost. And they are in the other room, free for you, as well as some Pierce Brosnan ones. So help yourself. And then Anthony Horowitz, the author, said, you know something, you're having this gather-all, I'm going to send you a bunch of my books. Whoever hasn't read it, give them one for free. So we've got a bunch of things over there. We have other authors here today that are setting their books up for you to take home. So we really want you to come away with something. And you can probably see behind me, there's a few prizes. So the brands got very involved. They love when the fans get together. So we're going to be having several special missions tonight. I don't want to call them trivia, but it's trivia. But we are going to be having human scavenger hunts, which sounds disgusting. And it sounds like we'll be arrested, and eventually we will be. But until then, it's not like that. You'll see what it is. Anybody can play these games except for Joe and I. We've had to sign a contract. That's not true. Yeah. And on top of that, the other thing that you should know is everything that you see on the table, we just need them for the scavenger hunt, and then when we're done with the scavenger hunt, you can take them. So there's vintage cars, there's vintage toys, there's little scuba men. So those are all the table. So somewhere in here, we need you to find somebody named Kevin. Now, you may have not met Kevin, but there may be someone, if you just walk up to people, it's about getting to know you. You need to find Kevin.
Kevin, where are you? I need Kevin. Kevin. Who's Kevin?
Kevin, you can raise your hand. You gotta bring Kevin up. I think we got our first Kevin. Do we have two Kevins? He's like, wait, Kevin.
You raised your hand, you were Kevin, right? Yes. All right.
All right, we have our first Kevin.
That's all right.
Yes. Here is one for you.
All right.
It's a Thunderbolt. Enjoy.
Yes.
Yes. You have to like remove it. Yeah, I know. Stop. Oh, beautiful, beautiful show.
Okay, Ricardoville, California here today in New Jersey at Gather All for James Bond Convention. I am here today with
Frank Fontana,
and Frank, where are you from, sir?
Staten Island, New York.
Came all the way out here for this, and I'm also here with El Presidente himself.
Phil Juhasz, 007 GB. I'm English.
He is English. And of course we have Lorenzo.
From Omega Bond Watches.
Okay. Well, it's an amazing champion, yes. So we are all James Bond fans. I've never met any of these gentlemen. You two already know each other. So,
Quite well.
gentlemen, tell
Intimately,
me.
we would say.
Well, yes, it happens. Well, like Daniel Craig said when in Spectre, what makes you think this is my first time?
There you go.
Okay. So, gentlemen, let's start off with Lorenzo. Lorenzo, why are you?
Was not Skyfall.
It was Skyfall.
Sorry.
Okay.
It's
That's
okay.
right. The El Presidente is going to keep me in order. Okay, so Lorenzo, why James Bond? I mean, making it a part of your lifestyle. Tell us a little bit about that.
For me, it's pretty simple. Like, I think every guy wants some sort of like guidance or something to look up to. For me, it was Bond. I love that he is more traditional in his styling.
Yes.
I think there's a lot to be said about understanding bespoke clothing and materials and how that fits certain body types and the way you put things together. I think ultimately I want to be a well put together gentleman. As Tom Ford said, it's good manners to dress well for others.
Well said.
Not the truth.
Phil, you are the El Presidente of the biggest James Bond fan club
Hashtag El President.
El
Hashtag
President.
El President.
in the world, and it's such a pleasure to meet you, sir. What inspired you? Yes, you're a James Bond fan, but to go from
a fan to promoting this on such a global level.
Well, nobody else was doing it, and it just felt completely wrong. I mean, my good friends of over a decade are the Swiss and the French president, Marcus and Luc.
Right.
And they have their fan club. They've been going for 20 plus years, and they're doing a great job. And they have all these fantastic events, and they're enjoying themselves with the Bond stars, with the friends. And I just thought, we need to have that in England. It's a British institution, James Bond. Why do we not have a club?
Right.
So Luke said to Barbara, there's no club. Do you want me to do it? And she said, yeah. He thought, well, I can't do it because I'm the French president. I'll call Phil. He'll set it up. He did. He did it for UNICEF. And look at us now. We've raised 20, well, I'll do it in American so you guys know.
You can do it in pounds.
$28,000 so far for UNICEF this year.
Right.
In 8 months.
Right.
It's amazing. I love it.
And what was so unique, it was on a British warship.
Yes, HMS Belfast. We gave John Glenn, 5-time Bond director, 3-time editor, 2nd unit. We gave him his Lifetime Achievement Award, and it meant so much. He cried, I cried, my wife cried, his wife cried. David Zaritsky was there. I mean, what's not to like? The fish was awful, by the way, but other than that, it was great.
Oh, when you get it from the tan.
Well, exactly. Yeah, we literally fished it out, put it on the plate because we thought every penny counts for UNICEF.
That's right. They were scooping it out of there.
There you go.
Okay, so let's switch this up. Okay, the American James Bond, I'm going to say, would be Tom Cruise. Okay, we're not going to compare him, but it would be the American equivalent. If
Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible, yes. No, if could James Bond? I think the answer is no, but let's just go.
The answer is no.
Okay, it's not. But
Burt Reynolds could have pulled it off because he's Burt Reynolds, but beyond that, forget it. It's ours, it's not yours, it will never be yours. We're British, and that's the way it shall remain.
could there be a cameo on either of the movies? Would that be cool?
No.
No.
You
Okay.
can cross that line.
Nah.
Okay. You can't cross it. Okay.
Frank,
Well,
what
you
do
can, but I wouldn't.
Please,
No,
Frank.
then you just cheese it up, right? And
Yeah.
then it's,
Yeah.
And Roger's not here, so we can't do.
Roger's
Roger could
not-
get away with that, but nobody else can do
Didn't
that.
he? Didn't he do that in the Cannonball movie? I think he did.
He did do
He did
Cannonball
that.
Run.
He did
Yes.
do that. And he did a fantastic
What about
job.
Steve McQueen?
Oh, what a guy.
Steve McQueen
I think
being in
Steve
a
and
Bond.
Cary Grant could have held their own in that.
Well,
in
Cary
that-
Grant
Steve
could have,
McQueen,
but
for sure.
what you don't know is that Cary Grant is English.
He is English.
So then, where was the
Yeah,
disconnect
no.
there?
He only wanted to do one.
That's right.
He would only sign up for one.
Okay.
Same with David Niven, who actually, incidentally, did
Casino
Bond,
Royale.
Sir James Bond, with a stutter in '67 Casino Royale. Yeah.
Right.
Well, I'm sure, I mean, if you guys have seen the original Thomas Crown Affair, I'm sure you have. I mean, Steve McQueen is basically,
King of Cool.
yeah, where being James Bond in that movie, right? I mean, the style alone, it's impeccable.
It would be.
Brilliant. And I did think that Pierce did a great job remaking that. I'm not a big fan of remakes,
Okay.
but the second one, it was of the time, it was of the moment, and it was cool.
I love that movie.
It's
I really
amazing.
do.
It's- I actually, when I was in New York, I had to visit that location. I had to go to the Met. I had to be there. And I had, in my little video that I did on New York, I'm like, I had to throw the Thomas Crown in there. I mean, why wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
Gentlemen, let's go in with Lorenzo, and we're going to move our way down. Any choice to be James Bond, who's going to be the next one? If they ask you, Barbara Broccoli, calls you on the phone. So, Lorenzo, we need your help, buddy. Who are you choosing? Who are you choosing?
I mean, there's so many choices. There's so many great actors out there. My personal choice, which will not be picked, probably, is Henry Cavill, because I just think he's fantastic.
Cavill guy.
Too famous. But I think Aaron Taylor Johnson's probably the lock, and I'm okay with that move.
Okay.
I agree with everything he just said.
Okay. I'm going to go
No
with
edits.
Maybe you need a right hand kind of guy, maybe a left hand kind of guy. Let me know.
Yeah. So, okay. So, is it going to be Aaron Taylor Johnson?
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, I think
It is. It is.
All right. I'm still going with Henry Cavill.
No,
Henry,
I'd love it to be Henry
I'm voting for you,
Cavill.
buddy.
That is my number one.
Dream.
Was he now in that water
Please.
commercial? When that water commercial said some things just have to wait, was that him? Just kind of trying to throw his 2 cents back in there.
I'm sure his PR team was all over that.
Well, it's interesting because he was the number 2 choice for Casino
He
Royale.
was.
Yeah,
He was too young, though.
he was too young.
I think it worked out, right?
Yeah, it happened.
All this time later, I think we'll agree Daniel Craig was the right pick.
He was the right pick. Are you going with Aaron
No,
Taylor?
I don't agree with
Yeah, I
that.
hate to parrot these guys
Henry
here, but
Cavill would've been the
I
choice.
agree with Lorenzo. I think Henry Cavill's too famous at this point, and he might be even a little too old. I think Aaron Taylor Johnson.
He's not too old.
If,
Henry Cavill.
yeah, if you
Yeah.
guys saw Bullet Train, I mean, he looks
Do it
fantastic.
live. I'll write it. We'll do it live.
Okay.
No.
Bond location. If you could be, we're a location guy and they said, okay, Phil, I want you to pick a few locations for the next Bond movie. What are we going with?
That's interesting.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
like, yeah, that's,
Love that
that's really cool because it's been pretty much everywhere.
Yes. I mean, he hasn't been to Fairfield, New Jersey, but
Yeah, so not that. I've been, and we're here now. Let's not do that. Or let's do it, say we did it, and not show it. Yosemite.
Wow,
I like that.
Interesting.
I would really like to
Never
see
would have thought that was coming.
Yosemite because it's such a beautiful place with El Capitano. I would really like to see that as some part of
That would be
the next,
very-
like the opening titles. I think that would work.
I would like that.
maybe starting with the climb.
Sure.
Almost loses his
Like,
grip,
yeah,
and he does it. Okay.
do that.
Good, sir.
Yosemite.
So I'd like to see
Where the
him
hell
in.
did I pull that from?
Your ass.
I'd like to see Bond in a Canadian city, right? He's never been to Canada.
Toronto would be nice.
I
Very
mean,
much
I
so.
live in Montreal now, so I have a preference for there.
Montreal is
It's the most European city, I think, in North America. I think it would make sense. But,
And Bondi.
I do like
if
that.
not Montreal, then, I'd like to see Bond in New York again.
New York. Okay. Live and Let Die was that. Okay. Lorenzo?
For me, I'd like to see Bond go to Chicago.
Chicago.
'Cause it's
With
just-
Blake?
Sure.
Okay, because Blake
I think
Bond Chicago.
Bond has been back to the U.S. in a while, and I mean, Miami was just like, boop. So like, I want like either Chicago or even somewhere like L.A., like a big city on the West Coast.
Okay.
Because we haven't seen them out there.
Speaking of the West Coast, I think Gather All should have a West Coast. We need an East and West. What do you think?
I think it's great. I'm just
think
not
you
going to recommend it.
We need to host it in
It's not
Vegas.
recommended. It's not going to happen. So
Phil, would you come out?
Vegas.
Okay.
yes.
Vegas. You know
Vegas.
what? How about this? Let's go over the top. Let's go back to 1971. Diamonds Forever. We could go to Palm Springs at the El Rod House. What do you think?
That would be cool.
I don't
I
know
like
if
Palm
Bumpy,
Springs.
not Bumpy, Thumper and Bambi.
Something about it.
I kind of mixed it. They could do, if they could still. Maybe
Trina's still, yeah, she's up there. She's
Maybe a
great.
couple
She's great.
months.
She's
She's
great.
good.
She's
Well,
still
Renzo set it
fit,
up.
physically.
I know a guy.
yeah, I know a guy.
I know
Okay.
a guy.
All right.
I know a guy.
I know a guy.
Okay, I know a guy. Okay, I'm going to go with San Diego. It's my hometown, but there's a lot of Navy stuff out there. There could be some sort of sabotage. I think Bond.
I
should
think
be
that's a
San
great choice, too. I
San
think,
Diego would be great.
But I think we all agree, or have said, that it's somewhere in the States, right? Or
It's got to be.
America.
It's been the States. Even the man from London himself. Is it London?
Well, no, I'm 4 hours north of London, but everybody presumes you're from London if you're British. And they're American.
Yes.
That's okay. No offense.
All right, where are you?
A village called Ray Green. It takes 50 seconds to drive in and out. We have a post office, a church, a school for 90 children, a village green, and a duck pond. Lancashire's best kept village for the last 27 years.
Until El Presidente told everyone.
And then I just tore it up. Now I've ruined it for everybody.
Everybody. Did they film this episode of The Saint there? with Roger? They should have. It seems like that would be.
Not when I was alive.
Not when he was alive. Okay. All right. So let's pick a Bond villain, if we may. Who's your choice? Who's your choice, gentlemen? Let's start with the man from
Del
Montreal,
Monte.
Staten Island.
Staten Island. Oh wait, you said you live in Montreal.
I do. A recent move, but I'll be back.
You are like the international man of mystery. Every
I
time
am.
I talk to you, you live in a different location.
My friends call me that.
All right. Now, then there's Mr. Worldwide, but he didn't make it today. But I'll interview him next time. Okay. So who's your Bond villain?
For a new movie?
Yeah.
Oof, that's a great question. If this might be a controversial choice, but I think if Aaron Taylor Johnson is Bond,
Yeah.
I think either Henry Cavill would be a great villain,
Oh my gosh.
or even Idris Elba would be
Okay,
great.
he
I
would
think
do the
one
job.
of those guys would be great. Yeah.
Did he just take yours?
No, I got mine. Mine's in there. It's locked in. I already sent it. It's ready.
What is it?
Oh, absolutely. It has to be Michael Fassbender.
Okay.
He was my OG pick for James Bond,
Okay.
but he aged out, so I think he'd be a fantastic.
But I think we agree that a James Bond type
He
would be a
really
great,
would. He
really
could
would.
nail
almost
that.
like GoldenEye,
Yeah.
right? Like a
Yeah.
James
Okay.
Bond counterpart.
I'm going to go with Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, femme fatale.
Yep.
I like that. It's interesting how you both picked guys that were going to be Bond. We're on the list, so let's get them in there. So here's where I'm going.
Second that fell on me.
The Nicolas Cage from Face Off. That shit face.
Yeah,
Nicolas Cage.
yeah.
That's what I'm going to go with. So,
That works.
with his verbal outbursts and
Yeah.
crazy faces and all that.
No, I get it.
Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for being on the Ricardo Del California show. It is such an honor to meet you guys. I've watched you guys on your YouTube channel and the International Man of Industry. We've got our Omega. Yes,
Oh, yeah.
we got Omega. And I have a WMT James Bond homage. I need to make the job.
Live and Let Die.
Live and Let Die.
50th anniversary.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
It
nice.
is. It goes red and white. It didn't have the magnet.
Because he has a magnetic personality.
I see that.
I love that.
Thanks again, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
You are a true showman, and are you? And as are you. I
you.
really appreciate it.
All right. Luke, thanks so much for being again on the Ricardo Del California show. Post Gather All 4. We didn't get a chance too much to interact there. You were in kind of like a virtual golf competition, I believe, at that.
Yeah, so Penfold Golf was there. Penfold,
They were.
which we would know from Goldfinger.
Yes.
The CEO, Gavin, is a friend, and he had asked me to kind of, I guess, co-host. I mean, obviously it's a Penfold kind of game, but he wanted me to kind of play host, and essentially Gather All guests were able to come and play me in a closest to the pin challenge. So if they were to get the ball closer to the pin than me, they would win a sleeve of Penfold balls. So I did that for 2 or 3 hours, I think.
Yeah. Get a good workout.
Oh God, I was sweating. I mean, I was wearing a brand new collaboration from Penfold and NPO, which is awesome
Absolutely.
success for Penfold and huge for both brands. And I got to wear that, and let me tell you, it was very comfortable, but very hot. It was like 80 something that day. I was very hot.
So Gather All 4 was great. You were out there doing the golf classic challenge. So the food was amazing. It was nicely catered. We had sliders. We had
There was wings, sliders,
incredible salad. It was just a nice
pasta, I think,
pasta.
maybe? Yeah.
There was the posters that came there. The artists that came in got some posters. A lot of giveaways from, I think, Bollinger. Was it Bollinger? That Chris Blackwell's rum was there.
We had Blackwell, Connolly, Bennett and Winch, and Varney. God, there was a ton. There was a ton.
Did Persol give out glasses?
No, I don't think so. It was just the Varneys. There was 2 different Varneys, but there was a big brand presence. Yeah.
There was a big brand presence for people that were doing all the Bond trivia. A few $1,000s easily in giveaways. Yeah. The event was held in Fairfield, New Jersey. Very lovely. It almost felt like when I was driving there, I was like driving to the country club in Goldfinger. It had that nice sprawling grass, plains, and then you get we had the Aston Martins out front. Incredible. And there was the gentleman playing Bond music on the acoustic guitar. And it felt like I was with family. There was about 100 plus 50 people. A lot of people, men and women, dressed the part for different Bond characters. The music was fantastic. And this thing actually got bigger because there was the cigar event earlier in the day. Some people were in New York having fun, going to ball games and getting together. And then there was the brunch. I had to fly out. It was kind of turning it almost to a 3-day event.
Yeah.
At this point. I thought it was, every year it was growing. David and Joe had to keep getting bigger venues because they had to turn people away. I thought it was just great to connect with other Bond fans, have, a trivia contest with all the Bond brands. There was even James Bond author who sent a bunch of books on some of the newer James Bond books. The food was fantastic. We had James Bond music, serenaded, if we will. I think that he hit almost all 25, 26 films.
Cameron,
Cameron, great guy. And a lot of the James Bond YouTubers, people on the Instagram, it was people from all over the world. We even had the president, or El Presidente as they call him, Phil Dewhurst, I believe is his last name, came out to the event. And it's in a growing thing. People were dressing in Bond clothing. One woman even replicated, was it Skyfall? That she did the blind.
Yeah, but accidentally. Yeah, she was there helping with the Penfold competition. Very, very, very nice girl. And that was kind of by total accident. And everybody just kept saying, do you even realize, like, Yeah.
She looked just like her from
Severine.
Severine. I thought she was.
Severine.
I'm like, are you like her cousin? I couldn't believe it. This thing keeps growing, and so for next year, what would you like to see? Again, if we had a wish list, as we're kind of recapping this, what would be some game changers to make this even more fun? And it was really already fun.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've been to 3 of the 4 now. First 3 were at a place called Triple Sun in Newtown, Pennsylvania, which is a very small venue, very cool venue, but very small, very narrow. So this got bigger, and they already made a lot of improvements. I mean, the style panel, they had a lot more trivia, a lot more prizes, a lot more space, a much wider variety of spirits, alcohol. I would say for me, probably the main thing, I think that all that's left is to have some of the Bond actors, which I know a lot of the people in the community have a connection with. Some of these people have either interviewed them or spent time with them personally. So I know that it would be a doable thing. So I think that would be probably the main and kind of only thing on the wish list. Maybe a different city at some point,
I
something
think
a little,
so.
but yeah, let's get some of the Bond people there. Obviously not someone like Daniel Craig, but we can get a lot of the Bond girls from the Connery and Roger Moore films are pretty active and doing things like Comic Cons and things like that. So I'm sure they would come.
Great. Phil did one in October where it was out in Los Angeles, and some of the Bond girls came to his event, and so he's definitely got a connection. It would be anybody would be great. Stunt coordinators, filmographer, location scouts. Just because for the people in the community, we would love to connect with the people that made these incredible movies down the road. Imagine what this could be in 5, 6, 7 years. Almost a Bondicon, if you will. We already have Comic-Con in San Diego, but this thing could really blow up where vendors are coming out, where they're selling some more merchandise out there. And it could be an experience where, talking to Phil, it would be great to have it out in Vegas, where it could be at a restaurant. If it's really, really big, maybe it would be, maybe a portion of a casino could have, they have different meeting rooms.
Convention center, yeah.
Yeah, a convention center or a very large room where weddings or conferences are held, where we might get a couple of hundred people, and people could stay at the hotel at maybe a rate, perhaps. Maybe we're hanging out on the pool deck with one of the Bond girls. That would be kind of fun.
That would be cool.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
Maybe a destination situation going on in the future.
Yeah, that'd be nice. I mean, and Vegas has a Bond connection, so
it does have.
People can who haven't. I mean, I've been to Vegas a few times, but I haven't done any of the Bond stuff. So if you go in for Gatherall, it's a perfect opportunity to gather, to pick 4 or 5 of your buddies that are also in town and go see some of the locations.
Yeah, I mean, definitely if we did it in Vegas, and again, I've been pitched at Vegas, but I mean, that was 1971, so we have Diamonds Are Forever. I mean, we could do even a walking tour of where he took the Mach 1, right? And people could see the pattern of where that car was, and maybe even do something in Old Vegas would be a hoot, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Maybe even getting some of the musical artists out there. I mean, I don't know what Shirley Manson's doing from Garbage, but I'd love her to come out.
Love that song. It's one of my top 10, top 5 probably.
Yes, it's definitely up there for me. I think that is my favorite Bond song, and there's so many good ones. Kind of wrapping on Gatherall 4. So location, more actors, people that were involved in the movies, more vendors, and a bigger conference space.
I know 130 some RSVP'd, and I'd say we were probably over 150 at one point, which probably could easily gotten another 50, 60 in there.
And as the Bond community grows, and it's great to connect people who love this franchise, been around for 60 years, I wouldn't be surprised if this hits 200 to 300 marker. Right.
Yeah.
Another thing, if it continues to get big, maybe it would be Gatherall London, Gatherall East Coast. It could do something where it would rotate, or Gatherall West Coast. So
yeah.
Well, sir, thank you so much again, and
anytime.
Hopefully, we'll see each other. We'll definitely see each other at Gatherall 5, but you never know where we might meet up again. So thank you so much. All right,
thank you, Ricardo. I appreciate it.
You're most welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching this episode on Gatherall 4. And thanks again for checking out the post-show chalk. All right.
Thanks again for watching the Ricardo del California Show. If you liked what you saw today, please subscribe, and I'll see you real soon.